I've been excited about this chapter of life for a while now. I've been dreaming up visions of how I want to inhabit my days here. These dreams have been tumbling around in my mind and heart for weeks on end. I see them now, smooth and clear, ready to be thrown across the lake of my life, each rippling outwards, on and on into the distant waters of the future. Welcome to my new home. I've got a sublet in London and this is my bedroom. It feels so good to have my own space again and just to unpack. I haven't hung my clothes up in a wardrobe in over 2 months, and it honestly felt kind of overwhelming getting dressed this morning. I was like, wow, so much to choose from. I can see it all. I'm so used to rummaging around in my suitcase, but now I can browse in the wardrobe. It feels so different, so familiar, yet so strange all of a sudden. And I've got my books, and I've got my desk, and I've got a window, and I've got space to do yoga in the morning, and I've got a bed, and I've got this little picture of home. I've got all my little things in a space, and I always feel so content when I can unfurl myself into a space like this. And I have been craving this, so this truly feels like a dream come true. It feels very right, very aligned. I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Let's sit down, have a little chat. I honestly just can't get over how good it feels to be in my own space. I'm really looking forward to this season of life ahead this summer in London. I feel like it's going to be a season of just pouring into myself and pouring into the dreams and ideas for different projects that I have in my mind. I have such a clear vision of what this chapter of life is going to look like for me. I've been crafting my vision board on Pinterest for over a month, and the vision is so clear now. And it's always such a lovely feeling when you've been crafting that vision for a while, and then you find yourself in the moment and it's time to actually live what you've been dreaming of. And that's where I feel like I'm at right now. I really want to be just focused and in my flow, like dedicated to my routines and rituals and spending time in nature, going for walks, doing lots of physical exercise, cooking, seeing friends. I feel like I sound like a broken record a lot of the time because I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting back to my routines and my rituals and staying grounded and having wholesome days. But it just feels like the nature of life, like finding enjoyment and satisfaction in the everyday moments. And I think that the way that I do that is just like through routines and having practices that make me feel joyful and happy and excited for life, because otherwise you can get so bogged down in just so many things in life. And so I think that having practices that ground you in like a sense of joy, a sense of love, a sense of lightness is so important. It always reminds me of that Buddhist saying, which says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. We're just continuing on and on this journey in life of going around in the cyclical process of returning to feed the fire and feed the spark in yourself and finding ways to do that. I think that's like one of the most important things, just finding what feeds your fire, what lights your spark, and continually returning. And for me, there's my routines and rituals and writing and going into nature and creating videos and painting. And yeah, it just feels really good to be devoted and consistent to these practices. And that's what I see in this chapter of my life. I feel like I've been taking in so much throughout my travels, and I've been having all of these ideas of things, and now I just have the time and space to really sink into those things and bring things to life. It's definitely going to be a season of self-care and self-love, and a practice that I often return to, especially as a single woman, is the practice of self-pleasure. It's something that makes me feel so connected to myself, light in my body, and just like in a place of flow, and just makes me feel like womanly. And Cheeks is the sponsor of this video. They are a sexual wellness platform, and they bring together different forms of education and entertainment through intimate films and immersive audio stories. It's the perfect place to sink into sensual self-care and to get more connected to yourself, to your body and your sexuality. It's designed to be a safe and respectful place where you can explore that sensual side of yourself in a respectful and empowering way, because I think that a lot of sexual content online is not female friendly and also very kind of soul crushing, not real, not authentic. And so I love that a lot of the content on Cheeks is more intimate, more immersive, and not so male centered. What I love about their platform is they combine entertainment with education. So whilst you can also find audio stories and intimate films, they also have a section to their platform called the Pleasure Academy. This is a space for learning about new techniques and for exploring more of the mental side of pleasure and for learning about building your confidence as well. They offer tutorials and masterclasses and articles on so many different topics surrounding pleasure, all in a very open and judgment-free environment. If you are also curious to try Cheeks, you can use my code CAM for a 7-day free trial of the whole platform when you select a yearly membership, and you can cancel it at any time throughout those 7 days, so there's nothing to lose in giving it a try. I am making a tofu scramble for breakfast. Also, how beautiful is this kitchen? I was so happy when I found this sublet, because I think that a lot of places in London are very like pokey and small and feel very like indoors, whereas this place feels very spacious and bright and airy with these windows, and it's got a garden outside. It's really the simple things, though, like making myself breakfast in the morning and being able to sit down and enjoy it outside. It just feels so good knowing that I'm in a place for a longer period of time and that I don't have to leave in a couple of weeks. I think that you get so used to that when you're traveling, of this constant movement. I have Al Green's Simply Beautiful stuck in my head, and I think I need to play it to get it out of my mind. Yes. What about the way you love me? Simply beautiful. I have some visions for this room. I feel like anytime I go into a space, even if it's temporary, I'm like, right, time to redecorate, time to add my personal touches. But I really want to add a plant, like running down here on the top of this wardrobe. And then I also want to add a little bench like under this windowsill, because I love having a space that I can anchor into for my morning routines, and somewhere to write on, somewhere to sit low to the ground, ideally near a windowsill. And this is such a beautiful spot with all the greenery outside and the morning light that pours in early in the morning. So I'm picturing like a little low bench here. And I know exactly what I want, but that always seems to be a problem with me. I get so particular with things that I want, and then I find it really difficult to find them. So I've just been scrolling on Facebook Marketplace trying to find something to put there. And then my mind typically goes to, oh, I can just make that. And then I'll start Googling like wood workshops near me and where to buy wood. But if I can find something on Marketplace, then I'll do that. But yeah, I really just want a simple wooden bench here. A plant here, a rug on the floor would be nice, but it's not essential. Other than that, I think I'm just going to keep it nice and simple in here. I think that the bench is really going to do a lot for me. So I'm going to go to the garden center now and pick up a plant. I'm also going to go to IKEA today, I think. I want to pick up some glass containers just so I can make my meals and go to the park and eat outside. It feels very crucial to my summer plans. I just keep getting these waves of excitement to be here, and I just feel so right place, right time. Everything is aligned. She's got a room. Everything happened so soon. She's got a wardrobe, somewhere to hang her clothes. She got a bike to hit the road. She's got a bed, she's got a desk, a place to rest. It's summertime and I'm feeling fine. You know I'm gonna make you mine.
Don't tell me to change. Don't give me that faith.
tall. What do you think? I don't know about it. I feel like the proportions are off in here. That was a successful mission to IKEA, although slightly overwhelming. I feel like whenever I go to IKEA, I spend so much time just walking around being like, where is this thing that I need to get? But then there also seems to be like nobody around, so I'm just walking around like, where is the milk frother? I feel like you do so many steps walking through IKEA. It's just like a never-ending tunnel. But I got what I needed. I got my containers. I got 3 glass containers. I got a bunch of these little glass spice jars because I have some spices in plastic that I want to put into these little jars, and I just got some extras so that when I go and buy any more spices, I have somewhere to put them. And I got a tea strainer, and I got this little basket to put my like potatoes and onions in at the bottom of the cupboard. And then I got a little handheld milk frother, and then just some candles. That's about it. And the plant. I'm not sure how the plant looks in my room. I think it's a bit too... I don't know. I just think the proportions are off in that room. Like everything looks too tall and small. But I also think that my eyes maybe just need to adjust to a new thing in the room. Creating moments of calm and presence feels so important whilst living in a city. Often after just a few hours out, I feel my nervous system yearning for a pause in the motion, yearning for a morsel of time to savor slowly and intentionally. So that's what I did this afternoon, sitting at my desk with a hot matcha, a flickering candle flame, and the work that awaited me on my laptop. But instead of jumping straight into work, I reminded myself that sometimes productivity looks like presence. I remember when I was working my architecture 9 to 5, and I would have moments where all I wanted to do was gaze out the window, watch the trees swaying in the wind and glistening in the sunlight. But there was a silent sense of urgency and a pressure to perform that pervaded those office environments. I now realize how vital these moments of presence and pause are for my productivity. So this afternoon, I took half an hour to reset and recenter before starting work. I sat with a pot of tea and found myself called to journal. I sketched and let my fluid feelings find form in words, writing, watching the mint leaves slowly soften and unfurl in this pot of tea, smelling their aroma release as they soften. I would like to be a mint leaf in a pot of tea right now, softening, unfurling, melting into the warmth of green tea sweetened with honey. But I'm a human, sitting at my desk with work to do. So work I shall. However, I'm thankful to be able to sit and watch the mint leaves, to have a moment of peaceful and quiet observation. I am a good boss to myself. I woke up this morning and my stepdad sent me this beautiful photo of the sunrise at home in Byron from my garden, and it made me so emotional because I felt like I was like transported back there through the photo, and I had an urge to paint it. So I came outside this morning and I've sat down and done a little watercolor sketch of the photo of the sunrise at home. I feel like just looking at the photo and now looking at this painting, I can hear the birds tweeting and I can feel how the air feels and the scents in the air. I'm like about to come on my period, so I think I'm just feeling like extra sensitive, but I don't know, looking at this and looking at that photo really just took me somewhere this morning, and it felt very, very powerful. I'm trying to start my mornings with more calm and more creativity and less phone, which has been working wonders for me for the past couple of days. I feel like when I start my days like this, I feel so much more focused in whatever I do throughout the day, and I'm just making the most of this beautiful weather and the fact that this sublet that I'm staying in has access to a garden. I feel like outdoor space is so treasured in London, in cities in general. Whenever you have a patch of private space of green, it just feels so special. There are birds tweeting and there's a little water fountain. I feel like I'm in a little secret oasis, but the main road is like 100 meters away. Wow, it's so beautiful.
And I wrote more yesterday. Yesterday felt like writing. And here I want to capture all the blossoms.
fruits.
Yeah, the blackberries. But these look like cherries, but they're actually plums.
Well, it could be either. Yes, please. Sometimes I envy the trees and their rootedness. Are they satisfied? Or do they envy the birds that fly from branch to branch? Do they envy the bees that fly freely and pollinate their flowers? I shall be a tree for a while, staying put here in London, letting my leaves and branches kiss the sky, letting myself dream of what is beyond and root into what is past, inhaling and exhaling through it all. Sometimes I really crave a feeling of like wildness in nature, which can be hard to find in a city when there's people around and there's paths and roads and cars. And I just want to be in the wilderness sometimes, but that's when your imagination has to come into play. And I found this little spot in the park underneath this tree canopy, and it feels so like another world. I feel like I'm in an enchanted wonderland, the way this tree canopy is draping and touching the ground, and the sunlight's coming through the leaves, and there's bees and butterflies and birds, and I can just hear people like faintly in the distance, and planes flying overhead, reminding me that I'm in a city. But at the same time, I feel like I'm sinking into this feeling of wilderness. I'm so thankful for the green spaces in London and how they come alive so much in the summertime. And I'm really trying to find some new spots at the moment. I have a few places that I like to go to, but I want to find like new places. For me, like finding a new spot is like making a new playlist. It makes life feel kind of reinvigorated and refreshed in a way when you can anchor into a new place and like make memories in a new place, have a new routine in a new place. And life feels so much like that at the moment. So trying to lean into the newness in every way possible so I can fill my spirit with this sense of renewal to the fullest of its capacity, because then I feel so much more inspired in everyday life. I want to start taking my breakfast down to the park, because this is only a 10-minute cycle away from where I'm living, so I really could make the most of it and bring my breakfast down here. I've been loving having dinners out in the parks as well. When you bring a girl from Byron to London, this is where you find her. I'm just going to sit here and write and read for a bit. I'm reading Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector, and I'm enjoying it so far. I've read like 20 pages so far. It's a very thin book. She writes about writing quite a lot. There's this one sentence and she says, "My unbalanced words are the wealth of my silence. I write in acrobatics and pirouettes in the air. I write because I so deeply want to speak, though writing only gives me the full measure of silence." I read that and I was like, writing only gives me the full measure of silence. Music found its way into my soul as I inhaled and exhaled deeply, watching the treetops sway whilst I too swayed. I felt like I was moving in harmony with nature, like for a moment there was no separation. The sun, the sky, the trees, the breeze and me, all one. Then someone would pass by and I'd feel myself retreat a little, pulling back to a gentle sway of the arms, rather than hips swaying, body twirling, and feet moving in samba. Keep going, I would tell myself. An act of love, an act of resistance, moving my brown body freely and uncontrollably in this wide, open public space. This is me showing up in the world how I would like the world to be. This is me creating my own reality, the reality that once was, the reality that still is, living slower, listening to nature, moving freely, feeling connected to one another, to the earth, to ourselves. And so I dance.